Okay, we're gonna have another nice, easy, short update vlog because I am once again very busy. This week has been the first actual, long week of school, so I've been very caught up in trying to just get all of my classwork done and, making sure that I understand what's going on in all my classes. And we're taking a bunch of, pre-tests or diagnostics to, see where we're at in the class, so that's been very busying of me. And I've also had swim practice every morning, which has been tiring and time consuming, and then I've had theater in the evenings. Like today, I had to stay until 6, so it's just after 6 right now. I just got home, and I'm going to have to stay tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. But it's all good because I want to be there and I want to help because I like doing theater things, but also I'm very busy and haven't had the time to make a video because I've just been getting home late and having to do my homework and stuff, so I've just been very busy. So this is the video that we're getting right now. So I'm just gonna talk about my classes and my first intro thoughts on all my teachers so far. And I'm going to keep it all very vague so that anyone who even remotely knows anything about my school cannot tell who I'm talking about. So, my first period. My first period is AP Human Geography, which I am not a fan of because when I signed up for all my courses last year, you pick basically a group, and that group is focused on a certain subject. There's groups on art, finances, public service, and then creating things like wood shop and stuff like that. And I chose the artsy one because I'm an artsy person. And that's the only group that takes AP European History, and that I was very interested in, and I wanted to take AP Euro, but they changed it this year, so now we don't take AP Euro, we take AP Human Geography, and I hate geography. My teacher in that class, they said, it's not just about memorizing places on a map, but they're lying, because that's basically all geography is. You need to know where things are. And they were like, it's not just the where, it's also the why. But I don't care about the why, and I don't want to know the where, so I'm just not looking forward to any of it. I don't care about any of it. So that class, right off the bat, not looking forward to. The teacher though, the teacher is fine. They are really nice and upbeat, and when they do attendance, they always ask us a question, and then we answer the question instead of just saying here, and I like that, that's good. And they want to make geography interesting, which I appreciate, but I don't like geography. My second period is pre-calc honors, and that class is amazing because my teacher, they are very young and tech savvy, so a lot of the things that we do are very tech oriented, and I love that because we have a flipped class, which is everything. Because what a flipped class basically means is that instead of having lectures in class, we have lectures at home instead of doing homework or the worksheets that you would get to take home and do them at home. You would do that in class. So what our teacher does is that they film themselves doing the problems and doing a voiceover lecture that they would do in class, except it's a YouTube video. So instead of having to sit in class and listen to a lecture and take notes, we can watch a lecture at home on YouTube on our own time, and it's everything. It is the best learning style I've ever seen because this is what I've always wanted. Because I don't like paying attention in lectures at school because note taking is just awful, because I never seem to be able to take notes fast enough, and I never know what I need to take notes on because I don't know what the rest of the lecture is going to tell me. But with this, you could just watch the whole lecture, go back, and then take notes on what you feel you need to take notes on, and it's the best. It's amazing. And when you do the worksheets in class, we work in table groups, so you get to make sure that you're doing all the actual math part right because you're checking it with other people, and it's amazing. I love that class. I love it so much. I don't particularly like the people in the class, but the learning style and the teacher, it's great. And my third period is my homeroom class, which is my literature class, which is probably the class I like the most because that teacher is my favorite teacher. That teacher also happens to be one of my swim coaches, which is it doesn't really factor into it, but also makes it a lot better because I already know them from last year. So I'm not just oh, this is a new teacher. It's it's not daunting because I already know them. I've already been introduced to them and seen how they are. But This teacher is just amazing. They talk about like their actual thoughts about the school process and what we're doing are, and they relate to us just like so much. They're like, okay, I get that this is stupid, and I get that you don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, but the school makes us do it, so we gotta do it. And that just makes having to do things so much better, because even the teacher like understands that we shouldn't do this, and it just makes you feel like connected in like the suffering that you have to do because of the school system. And they also talk about like all the rules that the school implements that are like really dumb and that we don't really follow in class, but like we should follow them. But when the teacher is just in there by themselves and doesn't have like an evaluation or something, they're like, you can just do whatever. And it's like amazing. But it's not like one of those teachers that just like doesn't care. Like they care that we're actually learning, but they also understand that there are some rules that are also dumb. Like they let us use our phones when, like, if we're doing work, we can listen to music. And when we have to do this thing in school, I think I talked about it in my other vlogs where we have to like sit and read for like 15-ish minutes, and last year it was really awfully boring because it was just me staring at this page and like not really reading it, because when I just read books just I can't, it's just so difficult because I just can't focus and it's just so boring, and it felt like it took like years. But in this class you could read off your phone, which is everything, because so many more interesting stories are on the internet. So I get to read off my phone in that class, and it's amazing. We were able to do that yesterday, and I just ate Cheerios and I read on my phone, and it was amazing, and it felt like the time went by so fast, and I'm 100% sure it's just because I was actually enjoying it this time. But that was amazing because that teacher is amazing. I love that teacher. High-key my favorite teacher, except for my theater teacher. She's also great. Speaking of theater, my class after that is my theater class, and different from last year where the advanced theater students and the beginning theater students were put in the same class. Now my class is just the advanced theater students, even though there's only like 4 of us in that class that have actually taken theater before. But it's like way better in my opinion because we're actually getting to do advanced theater stuff, because before it was all just beginner stuff because it was much easier for the teacher to just like give everyone the exact same assignment, and a lot of the people in the class were like beginning theater students, so a lot of the work was very just like basic. But now we get to actually do advanced stuff, which I've been looking forward to for like a very long time. My class after that is biology, which I don't really know how to feel about that class right now. I don't really have any opinions one way or the other about biology. I'm just like, it's a science class and I had to take a science class. And everyone has been telling me that the teacher that I have, they're like the best teacher to get, and I think that they are from like the stories that I've heard, but so far I'm not really getting it. Like I got it more today because that the teacher talked more, because like during class today a bunch of people just had all these like weird questions about like science and life, and this teacher just like answered all of them like honestly, and didn't care that we had a lesson plan. They were just like, no, I'm gonna answer these questions because these students are curious, and I'm like, I respect that. But on like the first day of school, this teacher went on this whole political rant about climate change and how we need to have stricter laws, and I was like, I'm not against that. Like I'm very interested in to see what other people have to say about things like that, but also like it was the first day. And I was like, that's a really weird note to start on. But like other than that, the teacher seems pretty chill. I like that teacher, and I like the class. I like the people that are in that class. And then my 6th period is my tech theater class. And that class, I don't really know how I feel about it right now, because there's this one guy in that class that I really hate. But other than that, I don't really have to do anything in that class because I've already taken it before, and because the theater things that I'm staying late for, like after school, I usually have to work on that during that class instead of actually being in that class, because the teacher, my theater teacher, she has to like teach all the kids the basic stuff that I've already learned, so I don't really have to talk to them. So it's been cool so far. And those are all the classes that I normally take, except for my weird middle class that everybody has every Wednesday. It's a class between 2nd and 3rd where it's like this like buddy class, like this group class where a bunch of different students come together in one teacher's classroom, and we just like talk about school and our feelings so that we could feel included. And it's the dumbest thing. I hate it so much because you're basically thrown into a room with a bunch of people you don't know, with a teacher you probably don't know, and you have to talk about how you feel in order to better make friends so that people feel included. Because apparently the reason that this all started was because, like, at the end of the year, everybody takes like a survey, like, how do you feel about the school? Do you feel included? Do you feel safe? Blah, 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 blah. And apparently not enough people answered, I feel like I belong at this school. So now they want us to belong. But I think that the one fundamental thing that they're missing is that if you force kids to hang out and be friends, they're not gonna be friends. That's not how it works. And any kid that said that they didn't really feel like they belonged at Franklin is not gonna own up to it in like a very like tense, judgmental environment. Even though it's not supposed to be judgmental, we're all like done and not like really wanting to be there, so we're not going to be really open to making new friends. It's just not a good idea or environment to be in. And a lot of people say that the teacher that's like facilitating this group that I have, that they're a good teacher and that they're really nice, but I don't really like them just because they seem so weird and pushy. Like they're one of those teachers that just seems like they care too much about their students. Like I like it when teachers care about their students and their learning, but there's like a line, like there's a point where you just seem like they are too invested. There should be some distance. Like, I have my life, you have your life. You can be interested in my life, but when you cross that line, you need to back up because I need my things to myself. And it's weird. Like, she went on this whole rant today about how people don't like school, and she asked us if like we like school or if we're getting any meaning out of school, and if going to school makes us shrivel up and die inside. Like, I feel like she's really worried that we all kind of want to die. And it's just, we talked about that for like 20 minutes. It was really weird. I'm not really getting the whole hype about her. Like, she's probably not like a bad teacher. I just don't like the group dynamic. I don't like the idea of the whole group. And this teacher isn't really like helping the situation. So that's just a whole mess, and I don't like it. But yeah, those are basically all my first thoughts about all my classes that I have to take so far. Maybe they will change. They will probably change in the future, and I'll probably update you guys on that when I once again am too busy to make a proper video.